Hello, world. Patricia O'Connor and Frida Reva Darcy were both kicked back on the couch. I got Frida kind of snuggling ear next to me, and I'm giving her a scratch behind her ear. What you see before you is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 little Japanese black pines, and all of them except this one, which is my $50 challenge tree, has just gotten the center candle cut out of them. I brought those trees in before dark, just before dark, when it was actually, I just went up there and just grabbed a bunch of small trees, basically. And I brought them in, had a little look at them, had set up the shot, set up the camera, set up the lighting, looked at it, thought about the difficulties of cutting the little center out of most of those trees and having it go well on camera without it just basically shooting 30 minutes with the back of my hand, and just basically couldn't get enthused about that. So what I did was I enjoyed, it's my night off, and I enjoyed bonsai. I decandled all those little puppies, and as you can see right there, they do look a little cut upon. The one that I didn't do any candle cutting on was this one, which had an early candle. So this was our $50 challenge tree. I neglected to do any further cutting on that. We're gonna let that go. We're happy with it so far. We're gonna let it go. Who look like they got the most chop for their decandled dollar? I would say Peanut here. I was even debating as to whether or not this guy would get that cut, but it did. And that one hurt. You know, sometimes you give something a haircut and you go, oh, but it's going to look really good when it comes back out. We should see a lot more buds coming out of there. And that also kept it small. That was the guy that I was just saying in the last video, had needles that were twice as long as the rest of the tree. So a little decandling took care of that. For the rest of them, or quite a few of them, it didn't make as much as a difference. This last year's needles were as long as heck. So cutting the candle out of the center of this year's needles will start this guy on the right track. And there are a couple that are like that. So cutting the center out of that is a good start. But that was, I think I could have also probably gotten away with cutting more of that off, but I didn't want to. It's okay. It's okay if we do this in stages as far as getting those needles down to the right height. This guy could probably do that things I always tell people not to do just about the time I do, which is trim the needles a little bit. But it got the center cut out of that. And I'm just in awe of the way that tree came out after our work that we did on it. That is just that in that little pot, that is just awesome. I just love the way that came out. I just had to stop for a second and have that minute. But yeah, so all of these guys got their candles cut. They all look better for it, or they all look a little more sparse. They all look a little bit more proportioned. That almost looks like a mugo with what was left of it. But I did a little bit more needle reduction on this guy. I cleaned back some of that stuff that's running up along the trunk. Now it looks like it's got a little bit of a trumpet thing going there. This stuff will need some motion when I get to it next. Maybe that can come down. Maybe that can come down. I don't know. We'll think about it. Probably more of the same. Probably more spiral. You know, I don't really see. It doesn't tell me right off the top which way I want to go with it. But that'll lend itself to more. Anyway, I didn't want to spend 30 or 45 minutes showing y'all my hands while I cut the centers out of tops of trees. But I thought that the stuff that we did there was good. And I thought that you've probably seen people cut buds on pine trees, if not on other things, enough to know that, we frame up. This is us framing up what we did tonight. And it came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way everybody's looking. I will probably tomorrow night is my other night off. We'll probably jump in there and grab one more. Might be a little bit longer. Maybe I'll just bring in a couple of trees and we'll actually do the work on camera this time. But not everything has to be tedium or shot to the back of my hand or shots where I'm holding a tree out of frame. Actually, I'll give myself credit where credit's due. We are getting a little bit better at some of this. And I think we've even gotten to the point where our music could possibly be down to a tolerable level. And so far, I don't believe we've done our camera kick yet, but it's still early. Anyway, that is just a kind of a look that just knocked out 8 Japanese black pines, 7 of them that I actually clipped the candles on. One of them I looked at and said, no, we already kind of did this a month ago with its early buds, and it's fine. So that leaves us about another 11 or so to go. But they go quickly. It's not really all that. It's trying to do that while doing it on camera without just making it a video about something. She's doing something with her hands. We can't see what it is. That makes it a little bit more tricky. This is almost as good for now. Like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Our next video will be almost surely more of the same. It is time to go ahead and start cutting some of these candles now. I would be waiting till the very, 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 very last minute if I were hyper concerned about it. But when it comes to these little Mames that we started bending on last fall, I happen to think that can get those guys down in stages. It's just fine with me. I might not get them as small as I want to this year, but we don't have to. It's all these little babies are still in development, but they're all looking really good. So yeah, pretty happy with the way. I'm pretty happy with the way that came out. Maybe I could give a little better profile to that guy I was noticing earlier. And then, so yeah, thank you all so much for watching.